Hey everybody, this is Elijah, and I wanted to talk to you about fasting and the Holy Spirit. I want to read from Romans 8:26. In the same way, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. And He who searches our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for God's people in accordance with the will of God. And so, as you're fasting, the Holy Spirit is praying on your behalf. And sometimes we experience the Holy Spirit, sometimes we feel His joy and His pleasure. Um, Other times, as we're fasting, we just experience the pain of, not having food, but that doesn't mean God's not at work in your life. It means you're just not experiencing His presence. And we as humans go, we like pleasure. We like to experience the pleasure of God, and that's a good thing. And when that happens, I thank God for it. But it doesn't mean the Spirit's not working when it is very hard. And part of going through a fasting process is allowing the Spirit to do His work in your life and to let Him intercede on your behalf. Uh, when we regularly say no to food or certain types of food or whatever fast the Lord has called you to, what it does is it puts you in a position where your will is saying, I want something more than this thing. And it actually teaches us how to pray through temptation. In all of our lives, there's moments where we feel tempted to do stuff. And fasting, at least for me, has been this experience of, as I learn to say no to the foods on my list, um, I see breakthrough in other temptations, and I think it's a way that God takes us through the spiritual formation process. And it's a very important part of our spirituality to let God do that. And one of the most helpful things I think we as Christians can realize as we're going through the fasting process is there's going to be a little part of your brain, because you're hungry, it's going to go, well, one bite won't hurt. Or maybe God's telling me to get off this fast. And I want to encourage you not to listen to that, because I, I think our bodies start rationalizing over time, um, ways to trick us into eating. And as you don't listen to that, you will begin to find freedom in things that I think you normally wouldn't find freedom in. And so spiritual formation and fasting are deeply connected. And also, you know, when I fast, I don't necessarily feel the presence or the Spirit of God. Oftentimes, it's way after the fast, God will speak to me about something, or sometimes not at all. The purpose of the fast is just to intentionally try to enjoy Him. And so I don't want to over spiritualize it and say this or that had to happen or it's not worth it, because I want to do it as a way to say, I love you, God, and I want to experience your love. And if I don't experience you through this process, I still want you to know you're worthy of my love. And so, as you're going through this, heart motives are going to start coming up, maybe anger, maybe frustration. And it's a great opportunity to just turn your heart back to God and to love Him intentionally and intrinsically as the only thing you want in whatever way He wants to reveal Himself, whether in His hiddenness or His manifest presence.